Good evening. You're about to meet a professional killer, a man whose name may not be familiar, Philip Leonetti. But there has never been a mob informant like him. He admits to 10 murders, and in 1989 became the highest-ranking mobster ever to give chapter and verse on all the mob's dirty deals. It was the most stunning betrayal the mob had ever known, but an even bigger blow to his own family. Because Leonetti was a third-generation hitman and gangster, born into the life. Now he's marked for death. As you listen to his brutally candid conversation with Forrest Sawyer about the making and breaking of a mob prince, remember, this isn't a character in a movie. He's the real thing.
To the mob, you are the worst kind of rat.
Probably, yeah. That's right.
Philip Leonetti is no longer his name. To conceal his new identity, he is seen here in disguise.
It's looking pretty good.
His life and the lives of those closest to him depend on it. Leonetti is the turncoat underboss of the Philadelphia crime family, and admittedly, a ruthless killer.
The government's star witness is Philip Leonetti.
Phil Leonetti isn't a mob captain anymore. He's a mob informant.
The 36-year-old Leonetti is going to talk.
This is Philip Leonetti before he broke his vow of silence on June 20th, 1989, and turned state's evidence.
The government calls Philip Leonetti.
It was then the biggest mob defection in history. Inside testimony against 10 major crime families, resulting in 48 convictions. And Leonetti helped bring down New York boss John Gotti. He had become a traitor, and to the mob, was as good as dead.
Anybody who kills me would make them a big guy in the mob. I wouldn't like it, but that's why I watch myself. I got to do the best I can. I know the situation I put myself in.
Which is that you'll be looked for the rest of your life.
Yes.
For Leonetti, this was not only business, it was personal. He had sold out the mafia and his own family.
Nothing to say. I'm innocent, that's all.
His uncle, Nicodemo Little Nicky Scarfo, the man who had raised him like a son, was the boss of the Philadelphia mob.
I'm his blood, and that really bothers him.
How bad does he want you?
I guess I would never be dead enough for him, Forrest. If he could keep killing me, he would be a happy guy.
And killing came easy to Nicky Scarfo. Just 140 pounds, 5 feet 5 in platform shoes, Scarfo was best known for one thing: murder. He ordered dozens of hits, 6 of them carried out by one of his capos, Tommy Del Giorno.
He killed everything he could kill with the power he had. It's just like, let's compare him to Hitler. Put Nicky in Hitler's place, he would have outdid him.
He's like the devil.
In a way, it sounds like there's this crazy world, right? With its own set of rules. And this guy at the center of it who has no sense of goodness. That's how you felt.
Oh, yes. That's for sure.
And you went into that world and you participated in it.
I gave him my life in the beginning because I thought it was the right thing to do.
From the time he was a baby, Philip tried to do the right thing. Abandoned by his father, Nicky Scarfo's mob life was all Phil knew.
15 yards per dollar. How about it now?
On the streets of South Philadelphia, they called it La Cosa Nostra, this thing of ours.
How about it now? It's great, man.
And in a neighborhood where life could be rough, it was family, it was religion, and maybe most of all, it was respect.
I tell you, when they see my uncle, they came over, they shook his hand, they had all kinds of respect for him, which made me feel really good, because they knew him and his reputation from Philly.
In fact, Scarfo's reputation for violence was too much even for his own boss, Angelo Bruno, who ran the Philadelphia mob back then. Bruno decided that he'd had enough after Nicky stopped by the Oregon diner one night and killed some guy with a butter knife.
Your uncle did a freelance killing with a butter knife?
Yeah, he got in a fight with a guy in a diner, and the guy's choking him, and he's reaching, he grabs a butter knife, and he sticks it in the guy, and it hits his heart, and the guy dies.
It was 1963, and Scarfo was banished to Atlantic City. Nowhere then. just some dying seaside resort where he tried a little bookmaking, a little loan sharking. When Scarfo arrived, Phil and his mother were already there, living in his grandmother's apartment house on Georgia Avenue. It was a quiet neighborhood called Ducktown. 4 square blocks of close-knit Italian families living just as they did in the old days. But Leonetti's mafia roots ran 3 generations deep. In the privacy of his home, little Philip was quietly learning the family business.
It wasn't strange to me. I felt like that girl Marilyn in the Monksters. When she was with the Monksters, we thought they were different, the way they looked, but she thought everything was normal. And she was normal. She looked normal. You know, I don't know how to explain that.
What is odd to somebody from the outside was just life to you.
Yeah, that was my family.
And when a 10-year-old boy was asked to be his uncle's decoy to help get rid of a pickup truck used for a mafia hit,
it was great. And he even told me how he killed a guy, the way he shot him, then he had to stab him with an ice pick. It was a terrible, terrible thing he did, but he did it to a bad man, and the man deserved it.
You were excited to be in the truck?
Yeah, it was an honor for me. It really, because that they needed my help. A 10-year-old kid. These guys that I respected and looked up to, that they needed me. It was great. I loved it.
If you had to pick out the one person who was going to go wrong in all the kids that you knew there, would you have guessed right?
I certainly would not have picked Phil Leonetti.
Today, Frank Formica runs his family's bakery in Ducktown. Back then, he hung out with Philip, when Leonetti seemed like just another kid on the block. The altar boy at St. Michael's Church who bought fish every Friday for the nuns, who starred on the varsity basketball team at Holy Spirit High School, who obviously knew how to keep his mouth shut.
Did you see anything that could suggest what he later became?
Absolutely not.
Never violent?
Never violent. Never even looked angry.
Just kind of quiet?
Quiet, I mean, not stupid quiet. I mean, not dumb, not like he was like a potted plant. He just was not the kind of guy that you would think he was just like this laid-back personality. Never anything like what he became.
In 1971, at age 18, Philip's double life came to an end. His uncle was serving time in New Jersey's Yardville prison and needed someone to send messages back to his gang. That someone was Phil. By the time his uncle was released, Leonetti knew college was out. Full-time life in the mob was in.
And the day he gets out, I pick him up. And I didn't leave his side since. From that time on, I was with him the whole time.
As your uncle went up in power?
I was there. I was with him the whole time. Everything that happened.
Shootings, beatings, extortion. And then in 1979, Scarfo figured his nephew was ready for the big time. To prove himself, he had to deal with a guy from the neighborhood named Vince Falcone, one of Phil's friends who had managed to insult Scarfo. The two of them invited Vince over for a couple of drinks.
I picked the bottle up, the scotch bottle, start drinking it to try and break the little bit of tension that was there. And I said, Vince, come on, get some ice. It's in the refrigerator. Come on, let's make some drinks. He came in, he went to the refrigerator and opened the freezer, and that's when I shot him.
How many times did you shoot him?
I shot him once in the back of the head, and after he fell down, my uncle listened to his heart, and he said to shoot him again in the heart. And I shot him again in the heart.
Do you not feel any sort of... What do you feel?
I feel nothing. I don't feel nothing. I feel cold.
He was 100% Scarfo. He grew up to have the same heartless, cold, calculating feelings that his uncle had. He grew up. It's just what the uncle wanted. He couldn't have got a robot better.
Those photographs are all in color, aren't they?
They're very gory.
The only problem was there was an eyewitness, and the case wound up in court. But Nicky knew how to fix that, too.
We find Nicodemo Scarfo not guilty, Philip Leonetti not guilty.
Phil says that for a bargain $3,000 bribe to a policeman, they bought themselves a solid alibi.
The verdict came in.
Verdict came in. Everybody in the corner, like they couldn't believe it. They were in shock. The cops got mad. Oh, my God. Everybody was upset except us.
Well, there's a good reason. You got away with murder.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. But they didn't have enough evidence anyway. Okay, yes, we did get away with murder.
It wasn't the first time.
What a waste of taxpayers' money.
And in trial after trial, it wouldn't be the last.
Thank God for the American jury system. An honest jury.
The murder of Vince Falcone earned Uncle Nicky's respect and bought Phil a place inside the Brotherhood. In 1980, at a secret ceremony here in South Philadelphia, Scarfo cut Phil's trigger finger and wiped the blood on a tissue that was set on fire. Leonetti was 27 years old.
So we said, what I want you to do is cup your hands, and we're going to light the tissue paper, and I want you to juggle it in your hands and keep saying, may I burn like this saint if I betray my friends. And keep saying it until it burns out.
Vowing your loyalty for life.
Yes.
No question.
No.
And if you want to change your mind?
Can't. But you know that. You only get out one way, and that's feet first.
I just can't believe that, you know, the guy that I knew for like 10, 12 years wound up like this. He wound up like the movie.
You went to see The Godfather.
Yes.
So when you go and see this movie and you're walking back and you're looking around at this place, it must
Did
be...
the thought cross my mind that here I am living in this movie? I felt like I could look out the back window of the rectory and see that same thing, that same evil festering in the neighborhood.
Father Michael D'Amico watched as Phil grew up and Scarfo grew more bold. The FBI photographed the wise guys who came around. Guys with names like Faffy, Chicken Man, and a young man who had come to be called Crazy Phil Leonetti. Loan sharks and extortionists mostly, until the day they struck it rich, the day casino gambling put Atlantic City on the map. By the early 80s, the Scarfo gang had hit the jackpot. From the construction companies to the unions, Scarfo took a piece of it all.
When the casinos came to Atlantic City, the governor made an announcement.
Yes, we heard it.
Keep your filthy hands out of Atlantic City. Keep the hell out of our state.
We were there already. How could we stay out?
There was no way a casino was going to come into Atlantic City without you.
Without dealing with us.
And what a sweet deal it was. With corrupt local politicians looking the other way, they didn't need to skim money from the tables. Instead, they had Local 54, the hotel and restaurant employees union, working over thousands every month. Millions more came in from the lucrative casino service contracts. The mob was everywhere, in the restaurants and the lounges, picking up laundry and hauling away trash.
I was a big gangster that used to live here.
With protection and still in disguise, Leonetti took us back to the boardwalk he says he once owned.
I'll tell you the story about a casino that didn't want to re-sign a union contract with our union. So I sent word to him that if he didn't sign the contract, we were going to blow his brains out. And he received the message and he signed the next day.
The guy running the casino?
The president.
You wouldn't be nervous about killing somebody that high up?
No. No, not at all.
It was all luck and nerve with Nicky and Phil. So they were ready in 1980 when Philadelphia boss Angelo Bruno was rubbed out by one of his own men.
What about his alleged affiliation with underworld crime?
We don't know anything about it. We just know he was a wonderful person.
Less than a year later, the FBI watched as Nicky became the big boss. And Phil, he was the guy who made it all happen.
He became what every mafioso is, an extremely ruthless, self-centered, merciless killer. There was no change of heart. It was done. And I think that made him the real power behind Nicky, because he was so predictable.
Yes, he's as mean as his uncle. He's as vicious as his uncle. The only difference in him and Scarfo was Scarfo came first.
Nicky and Phil were feeling bigger than life, with a Florida retreat and their own 41-foot cabin cruiser called Usual Suspects, and the boys were welcome to come on down. As for the cops, what were they going to do about it?
If you're going to be a gangster, a criminal, you would think you'd hide from the law. Nicky didn't. He was thumbing his nose at everybody. He said, I'm Nicky Scarfo. Pay attention.
We should have just got, like, jackets and said mob on them so that everybody knew, and we wouldn't have had to do this stuff, you know. Put mob on the sleeve, mob on the back, and put little hats, mob. Put Italian on the back, mob in the front, or mob in the front, Italian in the back, so I knew it was the Italian mob. Don't get it mixed up with any other mob, you know what I mean?
And when it came to killing, Nicky Scarfo had his own special approach. Enjoy your work and make sure people know you're there.
Like in the old days, he would like to kill people right in the street, like James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart and all them guys. Right in the street, blast them, broad daylight, anytime. And that's how he'd like to do things.
Right out there for everybody to see.
That's right.
Why?
He was a mob boss, and that's what he wanted everybody to know he was.
The police say it has all the signs of a classic mob hit.
Everybody knew who he was, all right. And everybody knew the more power Nicky got, the more paranoid he became. He started seeing enemies everywhere, even inside his own gang.
Narducci was hit 9 times.
Chicky Narducci was gunned down just 50 yards from his home. Enrico Riccobini killed himself right after he saw Philip staring at him through a store window. And when Pat the Cat failed to show up for a hit, Nicky made sure Pat took the fall instead.
And everybody I met who got killed, I mean, there wasn't one guy I met twice sometimes, because they did something, they got killed. Oh, you remember this guy? Yeah, well, we had to kill him. You know, it catches up to you after a while, Forrest.
You keep pushing it off on your uncle. He was bad. He did this. I tried to do good. Phil.
Right. Well.
It was you.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
But the things I did, I tried not to make them evil.
You don't get around it, Phil.
I know, but I tried. You know, and I did the best I could. Even though I killed bad people, I don't think that was evil.
You don't think killing people?
Bad people? No, I feel like I'm a soldier in the army like the other army guys. When they kill the Bosnians or Russians or Vietnamese, I mean, they don't even know them guys. At least I know who I'm killing is a bad man.
So you don't feel bad about it?
No. No, I don't. That was them for us. I don't, you know.
Do you feel bad about it now?
No.
Hey, Nicky! How about a few words?
Nicky Scarfo's killing frenzy made him the most violent mob boss of his time. But one more murder was still to come, and it would turn even Scarfo's most loyal ally against him. An ally who would, in the end, betray everything he had ever believed.
By 1986, Philip Leonetti was the underboss of the Philadelphia mob, the right-hand man of one of the most violent mob bosses in mob history. Even the mob members themselves were terrified of Phil and his uncle, Nicky Scarfo. But as far as Sawyer discovered, what they didn't know was that tough guy Phil was just as scared of Scarfo as they were.
Were you afraid that if you did make a mistake, your uncle would turn on you?
Oh, definitely.
And by turn on you, I mean...
He would kill me. Definitely.
Phil had seen it happen before, when Uncle Nicky turned on 28-year-old Salvatore Testa, Scarfo's most loyal captain, Leonetti's best friend.
Salvi thought my uncle was his dad, and I was his brother.
And your uncle says, we got to kill him.
Yeah.
And you say?
Nothing.
For 5 long months, Phil helped plan Testa's murder.
Testa's body was clearly visible just a few feet from the road.
On September 14th, 1984, on Scarfo's orders, Salvi Testa was shot in the head and dumped in a ditch in New Jersey.
When he killed Salvi, it sent what message?
that if he'll kill Salvi, who everybody knew to be his most loyal captain, he will kill anybody for any reason. What chance have I got?
And that sends people to?
The FBI.
People smart enough to know Scarfo had them on his hit list, too. People like Tommy Del Giorno, who was the first to testify.
You get up there and you tell the truth. You tell exactly what you did. You don't add to it. You don't subtract from it. You tell the exact truth. You tell what, because believe me, the truth was brutal.
Count one, RICO conspiracy. What is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
On November 19th, 1988, armed with new informants and tough new racketeering laws, the government got convictions against Scarfo, Leonetti, and 15 others on everything from extortion to murder. Scarfo received 55 years, added on to a life sentence from another murder conviction. Leonetti got 45 years.
I was glad it was over.
You just get hit with 45 years and you're relieved in a way.
Yeah. You know, I didn't have to put up really with my uncle anymore. I knew we were going to go our separate ways in prison and all, so all around it was a good relief.
You mean in some ways you'd rather go to prison than be with your uncle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I felt like that. That's how much he tortured me.
Faced with spending the rest of his life in prison, Phil started thinking maybe it was time to make a deal of his own.
I picked up the phone from prison, and I called an FBI agent by the name of Jim Marr. I took a chance. I made sure nobody was standing around me, and I called.
It took a lot of guts.
Do you in some way admire him?
Well, I admire courage wherever I see it, and I admire that courage.
It was a courageous act.
Yes, it was.
Leonetti says he did it to protect his family and keep his 15-year-old son out of the mob. Others say Leonetti was just looking for a deal.
He didn't want to leave no mob. He wanted to leave the mob after he got to 40 years. He didn't want to leave the mob before that. And he went home. You see how much he wanted to leave the mob? He wanted to leave it, all right? Don't believe that. That's nonsense.
It looks like you waited till you got nailed.
Right.
And then tried to cut the deal. This is no moral action. This is just a guy trying to weasel out.
Hey, it was still worth it for me to get my son out of this life and my mother, my wife. If they said they weren't going to let me out at all, what was I going to do? I still would have done it.
News of Leonetti's betrayal enraged Nicky Scarfo. In letters to his lawyer from prison, he wrote, "I live with my embarrassment and disgrace of my lying rat ex-nephew. I maintain myself only to see these people suffer someday. This keeps me going."
This suggests that he probably wasn't happy.
No. And no, I know he's not happy.
For the rest of his life, he'll feel that way.
Oh, yeah. He would like me dead, my mother dead, my son dead. Not just me. For him, he wants us all dead.
The FBI agreed to keep Leonetti safe in prison and hide his family from Scarfo's men. And then Phil started talking against 10 major crime families, resulting in 48 convictions so far.
I look at the families in the courtroom, and I remember seeing my families in the courtroom when I was a defendant and people testifying against me. I know how they feel, and it's a bad feeling. You know? It bothers me.
On September 14th, 1992, after serving only 5 years, 5 months, and 5 days of his 45-year sentence, Leonetti was given his freedom, complete with a new name and a new Social Security number. But what about the FBI's promise of a fake background that would let him blend in with the straight world?
He's out of luck as long as I'm here, because I don't think we have that obligation, and we certainly don't have that responsibility.
The new head of the Philadelphia FBI, Bob Ryder, turned him down flat.
Let's say you don't have a background at all. What's the problem?
If I can't get a job, I can't have references to tell people, I come from here, I lived here, I worked here. I need help here.
So I guess my question to Phil is, if he wants more money or more considerations, what I would ask Phil is, how much is his freedom worth to him?
So you're not going to do anything for him?
Probably not.
But it wasn't Bob Ryder who made the promises to Phil. It was agents Klaus Rohr and Jim Marr.
You told him man to man, here's what we're going to do.
Yes.
He was counting on it.
That's right. And we didn't do it.
How does that make you feel?
Not very good, to be honest with you. I mean, what good is an identity without a background?
Today, Phil Leonetti is in hiding with no job. But the son he fought to protect is now in college. And Phil has added one last twist to his story. He has recently remarried, and not to just any woman. This woman was dating Vince Falcone when Leonetti killed him.
Help me understand. The girlfriend of the man who was your close friend whom you murdered, have I got it so far?
Yes.
Is now your wife?
Yes.
I'm glad it's worked out, but you must understand, looking at it from the outside, it seems a little strange.
Yeah, it does seem strange, but it wasn't until 2 years later that we really start dating. I mean, it wasn't, like, in other words, it might look like I killed him to go out with her. I mean, there was really not even an association.
I would think just the fact that you killed him might slow things down a little bit.
Just that I killed him?
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's in the past. I mean, we have to go on. You know, things happen, and what are you going to do? We come from a very different world than everybody else. Very different.
Here you are today, having brought all of it down. Strange life, huh?
Yeah. Strange life. You never know what's going to happen.
Philip Leonetti may be called on to testify again, this time against his uncle in an upcoming murder retrial set for January. And while he's not now under federal protection, he may soon be, because the FBI has asked Leonetti to take the stand next March against Vincent Chin Gigante, the man they call the boss of the Genovese mob, the most powerful crime family left in America. With his son now in college under a new identity, perhaps the family tradition has been broken.